From WBAY TV, your first alert station, Action 2 News starts right now with breaking news.
Good Wednesday morning. We have first alert traffic breaking news, and we just got some new information we want to share with you. This is happening on the east side of Green Bay. Our Kristen Allen just arrived on scene and has learned that police are negotiating with a person who has a gun in the area of a gas station at the intersection of East Mason at Bellevue Street. We don't know exactly what's happening, who this person is involved, but again, police say this person has a gun. They're negotiating with the person, so they are asking people to avoid this area, East Mason at Bellevue. They say basically a block either direction on East Mason. So between John and George, that area is closed. They don't want people there. They are working to deal with this, and our Kristen Allen, as we said, she just arrived and she will have a live report as soon as she gets some more information.
Kristen Allen just arrived at the scene. Kristen, what do you see out there?
Yeah, this is happening at a Grand Central Station gas station on the corner of Mason and Bellevue Streets. And police tell me that there is a woman inside of a car in the parking lot of the gas station, and she has a gun. Now, we are back a little bit from the gas station, but you can sort of see here behind me where the gas station is. And if we take a closer look, you can kind of see that there's an armored police vehicle over there. Now, understandably, they want us back a distance, and they have several street closures in this area. They say that so far no shots have been fired, but they have called in some negotiators to try to resolve the situation. We are on a side street behind the gas station. We are on the corner of John and Kimball Streets, and there are just numerous police cars up and down many of these side streets here. As I said, this is as close as they want us to get because this is a very fluid situation. They say, as I said, that they have called in the negotiators right now, and that's really all the information that they say that they have to release. But there are many street closures in this area, including Mason Street directly in front of the gas station and several side streets as well. We'll continue to follow this story and bring you the latest information as soon as we learn it. Reporting live in Green Bay, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News.
Action 2 News starts right now with breaking news.
Good morning, and we want to get right to first alert breaking news developing since about 4:30 this morning. Green Bay police say they are dealing with a person who has a gun. Part of East Mason Street is closed right now. And Kristen Allen has been on the scene now for about half an hour. Kristen, what are you learning?
That's right. And the gas station, the Grand Central Station, is here behind me. And we are back a distance on some side streets because there are numerous street closures. We are on the corner of Kimball and John Streets behind the gas station. You can see the gas station here in the distance behind me. There is I believe, an armored police vehicle there that you can kind of see the back end of. And just before you guys tossed to us, before we came on the air, we did hear quite a bit of commotion and yelling. I believe I heard an officer telling the woman to drop the gun. So there has been some yelling and some commotion that's been happening just in the past couple of minutes here. This has been going on since just before 4:30 this morning, and there are numerous street closures in this area. There are lots of police vehicles up and down these side streets where we are. Police tell me that negotiators have been called in. They say that so far no shots have been fired. There are some police officers off to the side of me over here that are in plain clothes that look like they are monitoring the situation and sort of overseeing things. That's all the information that they have released so far. This is a fluid situation, and they say that more details will be available later. So we'll continue to follow the situation and bring you the latest updates. Reporting live in Green Bay, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News.
All right, Kristen, thanks. And in first alert traffic, we want to show you on the maps exactly where this is happening. We're talking about the east side of Green Bay, and here you can see the icon. That's where Kristen is, where police are at the intersection of East Mason and Bellevue Streets. So they have streets in that area closed. So what you may want to do to get around this area right now, because police really want you to avoid this at all costs, an alternate north-south route is Baird, which of course becomes liable to the south, and an alternate east-west route is Main. It's a little bit tough because of course this intersection is right near the East River, so you got to get to another bridge. So Main is probably the best way to get around that east-west. We will continue to follow this and let you know when this intersection is back open. Steve?
Parents who have to drive through that area to bring their kids to the first day of school, plan ahead. Thanks for the update, Catherine.
Back to school for so many students and teachers across our area today, and we are all still facing challenges from the pandemic.
Just this whole year, I believe, again, we'll need to be completely flexible.
That about sums it up. Kids, parents, and teachers need to be ready for change again.
That's Laura Weber, a De Pere Middle School teacher, and she says teachers have been the ones learning from their past year of challenges. With the possibility of students being quarantined or schools going back to virtual, it's been a summer of planning for teachers to be ready for anything. And we'll have more on the teachers' preparation. That's coming up in the morning rush here at 6:45. Welcome back. Special moment last night at Appleton International Airport. A huge welcome home for dozens of Vietnam and Korea veterans. The Old Glory Honor Flight landed back in Northeast Wisconsin just before 10 last night. The veterans spent the day in Washington, D.C., visiting memorials to the men and women with whom they served. And Kristen Allen was at the airport live as those veterans were boarding the flight yesterday morning, and this flight was extra special. It was delayed for 18 months because of the pandemic.
We're scheduled to go last year. We're both disappointed we couldn't go last year, so we're looking forward to it. The memorial, Vietnam Memorial, that was good. That was good. It's kind of touching, you know. We knew people that were on the wall.
It's neat to see the memorials. It's neat to get the honors, but it's the relationships. Our handler, our babysitter, was terrific, and the guys that we were matched with, we had more fun talking and laughing. It was just beautiful.
Another flight is scheduled for a couple of weeks from now. Donations make these trips possible.
Next 24 hours, highs in the 70s this afternoon, a comfortable high of 74 degrees. And for the first day back to school for a lot of kids, we'll see plenty of bright sunshine.
It's time for the Morning Rush. Non-stop news, weather, and traffic until the top of the hour. Sponsored by Sure Dry Basement Systems. Call 920-SURE-DRY today.
We want to get right to first alert breaking news developing since about 4:30 this morning. Green Bay police say they had to deal with a woman who had a gun. The situation did close a portion of East Mason Street, but it's all been resolved in the past half hour. And Kristen Allen has been on scene since about 5:30. Explains what happened.
That's right, and the scene looks a lot different right now than it did just even a little while ago. There are not as many police cars around, but the situation happened at the Grand Central Station gas station at the corner of Mason and Bellevue Streets. You can see the gas station here behind me, and everything is clear and back open and running more like normal. But earlier this morning, police said that they got a report of a woman who had a gun, and she was walking around the parking lot of this gas station and pointing the gun at some person inside and also at the pumps. Then she went to her car, closed the door and rolled up the windows and was sitting inside of the car with the gun, and she had it pointed under her chin. That's what police say she was doing when they arrived here, and they said because the woman was inside of the car with the windows rolled up, it was very difficult to communicate with her. They had a hard time doing that, but they did call in negotiators and spent a couple of hours doing that. She did eventually get out of the car and dropped the weapon, and they were able to use pepper balls to disorient her. And police say that mental health issues were what caused the situation.
The first people that arrived here took up a position of cover and tried to communicate with her as best as they could. She seemed to be having hallucinations, and she was shouting things about the FBI and about Al-Qaeda. It was hard to capture her attention, but they were trying to establish communication with her. And then we ended up getting the city bear cat and county bear cats here to try to resolve it as peacefully as possible.
Take her into custody safely. There were no shots fired and no one was hurt. They say because of the mental health issues so far, they aren't recommending any charges, but instead are going to try to help her get the help and the treatment that she needs. Reporting live in Green Bay, Kristen Allen, Action 2 News.
6:46, it's back to school. Get up early and get ready for that first school bell.
Lots of excitement for kids heading back to school. The supplies are picked out, the backpacks packed, but for a second year, it's reading, writing, and COVID-19. And as the pandemic continues, teachers have had to prepare for yet another year of uncertainty. Teachers at De Pere Middle School met over the summer to create lesson plans that are ready to go for in-person class, as well as lessons that can be changed quickly and delivered virtually. Some teachers say they feel much more comfortable with the technology that is used for virtual learning and know much better what works to engage students, whereas last year it was a little bit more of trial and error. One history and English teacher we spoke to says that last year really prepared her for just about any scenario and being ready at a moment's notice.
Taught live in person. I taught blended, so with students, in school and at home. And then I also taught full virtual. So I look at last year as a gift in some ways, in that I got all of that experience in. And I feel like going forward, once the pandemic's over and things are back to normal, it'll feel like a piece of cake.
Despite the continued uncertainty, she says she and the district are excited to welcome students back, and they're hopeful it can be a fun and successful year.
And as many students prepare to head to class today, some parents are scrambling this morning to find an after-school program for their kids.
More back-to-school coverage now. This problem is largely happening because of worker shortages. The Salvation Army Kroc Community Center says because of a shortage of bus drivers from Lamers bus lines, they can no longer offer bus rides to and from Kroc's after-school programs. We've been reporting on the shortage of drivers for the past few weeks, including the extra incentives bus companies are offering to try to attract new drivers.
The YMCA of Greater Green Bay and the YWCA say their phones have been ringing off the hook with parents looking for programs, but the Y is also dealing with staff shortages.
Families are in need of something and they're looking for care, and we don't have the space available to take any more families in.
We do still have some availability for our programs. It really depends upon the school district as well as the school.
The YMCA says it has a waiting list as well for parents who want to enroll their kids in its after-school programs.
I'm keeping an eye on some wildfire smoke out in Minnesota. Tonight, it spreads into Wisconsin, and tomorrow morning, it will be in our skies, giving us a hazy glow to that sun. Thankfully, most of it will be elevated, but those with any respiratory and cardiac health concerns should keep an eye on tomorrow's forecast just in case the air quality decreases. Right now, we've got clear skies in Green Bay, some early sun, 54 for a temperature, dew point 51, north wind at 7 miles an hour. Today, back to school on this Wednesday for a lot of kids. Bright sunshine, comfortable, low humidity, a high of 74. Tonight, fair skies, cool, crisp, low of 51, 40s across the north, where you might get just a hint of patchy fog. On the water today, northeast winds 5 to 15 knots, 1 to 3 foot waves, and let's roll out the first alert 7-day forecast. Highs in the low to mid 70s for a while, a little bit of haze and wildfire smoke tomorrow with sunshine, then increasing clouds. We have a chance of showers Friday into Saturday morning and maybe a stray thunder shower on Sunday, but the Labor Day holiday weekend is probably not going to be a washout, Catherine.
All right, Steve, thanks. First alert traffic. And of course, we are talking about the fact that it's the first day of school for so many districts. And for a lot of us, we haven't been in the habit of watching for school buses for the summer and a lot of last year and the year before as well. So we really need to get back into that safety mindset. So remember, when the school bus is stopped and the red lights are flashing or the stop sign is out, you need to stop at least 20 feet from the bus, either direction, whichever way you're headed. If that stop sign is out, except if it's a divided road, then on the other side you don't have to stop. Remember to slow down, watch for those kids. Please put down the phone when you're driving around this morning. Let's take a quick look live at our First Alert DOT traffic camera network. And for this first day of school, we really couldn't have better driving conditions.